Imagine a land where the forest watches you back, where rivers whisper warnings, and where every path hides a story older than the country itself. Brazilian folklore isn't just a collection of fairy tales. It's a living system of myths created to explain fear, nature, morality, and survival. And today, we begin a journey through some of its most iconic creatures. Let's start with one you've probably heard of, even if you don't know his story. The Saci. Small, clever, and endlessly annoying, the Saci is described as a one-legged boy wearing a red cap, always surrounded by spinning gusts of wind. He hides tools, spoils food, tangles horse manes, and laughs while people search for answers. Farmers blamed him when things went wrong. Travelers cursed his name when paths suddenly disappeared. But the Saci isn't evil. He's chaos with a personality. He represents the idea that nature doesn't follow human rules. No matter how organized you think you are, something unexpected can always flip your world upside down. But while the Saci plays tricks, another creature exists to punish. The Curupira, protector of the forest, guardian of animals, and nightmare of greedy hunters. The Curupira looks like a small boy with fiery hair and feet that face backward. Anyone who tries to track him ends up completely lost, walking in circles until exhaustion takes over. Some never return. The Curupira doesn't attack without reason. He defends. His legend exists to remind humans that the forest is not theirs to conquer. Take more than you need, hunt without respect, and the jungle itself will turn against you. And when the sun sets, something ancient begins to glow. The Boitatá, a massive serpent made of living fire, slithering through rivers and fields, lighting up the darkness. Despite its terrifying appearance, the Boitatá isn't a destroyer. It's a protector. It hunts those who burn the land, those who start fires and scar nature. Its eyes shine like molten embers, and legends say that anyone who stares too long into them loses their sanity. The Boitatá represents fire as judgment, not chaos. A reminder that destruction always comes at a cost. But not all dangers walk on land. Some wait patiently beneath the surface. Along Brazil's rivers lives one of the most seductive and dangerous figures of folklore. Iara. Beautiful, mysterious, and deadly. Iara appears as a woman with long, dark hair and a voice so enchanting it overrides reason itself. She sings softly, calling travelers closer, step by step, until they vanish into the water. Some legends say they drown. Others claim they live with her forever beneath the river, trapped in eternal fascination. Iara represents temptation. The danger of surrendering to desire without thinking of the consequences. Because sometimes, what attracts you the most is exactly what destroys you. And this is only the beginning. The deeper we go into Brazilian folklore, the darker the forest becomes. Some legends exist to make sure you think twice before trusting what you see. Because sometimes the danger smiles back at you. The Boto Cor-de-Rosa. By day, it's just a river dolphin, quiet and harmless. But when night falls, the Boto transforms. He becomes a charming man dressed in white, always wearing a hat to hide the blowhole on his head. He dances, flirts, and disappears before sunrise. And when he does, he leaves questions behind. In many villages, unexplained pregnancies were blamed on the Boto. Not as a joke, but as an explanation. A way to deal with taboo, shame, and mystery. The legend teaches a powerful lesson. Not everyone who appears kind has honest intentions. And while some creatures deceive, others terrify through sheer presence. Deep in the Amazon lies something that shouldn't exist. The Mapinguari. Descriptions vary, but they all agree on one thing. It's massive. Taller than a man, covered in thick fur with long claws and an unbearable smell of decay. Some say it has a single eye, others swear its mouth is on its stomach. Hunters who claim to have seen it describe a creature immune to bullets, roaring like the forest itself. The Mapinguari feels less like a monster and more like a warning, a reminder that there are parts of the jungle humans were never meant to fully understand or control. And then there's the creature that haunted childhood nightmares across Brazil, the Cuca. Often described as a witch with the body of an alligator, the Cuca doesn't just scare children, she steals them. Parents used her legend to enforce obedience, whispering her name when kids refused to sleep. But behind the fear lies something deeper. The Cuca represents consequences. The idea that actions matter, that disobedience leads somewhere dark. She's folklore's way of giving fear a face. And just when you think these stories can't get more unsettling, one legend takes punishment to a horrifying extreme. The Headless Mule. Also known as the Mula Sem Cabeza, this creature is said to be a woman cursed for forbidden love, transformed into a blazing mule with no head, breathing fire from her neck. She gallops through the night, chains rattling, eyes invisible yet watching. Her screams echo across empty roads and fields. The Headless Mule is pure symbolism, guilt, repression, fear imposed by society itself. A reminder of how folklore was used not only to explain the unknown, but to control behavior. And that's what makes Brazilian folklore so powerful. These creatures weren't created just to scare. They were created to teach, to warn, to survive. What makes these legends so fascinating isn't just how strange they are, it's why they exist. Brazilian folklore was shaped by fear, nature, and survival. These stories were born in places where the forest could swallow you whole, where rivers decided your fate, and where rules were learned the hard way. Each creature you just met represents something very real: chaos, punishment, desire, greed, consequences. The Saci reminds us that control is an illusion. No matter how prepared you think you are, life finds a way to surprise you. The Curupira exists to protect what cannot defend itself, a warning that nature watches, remembers, and reacts. The Boitatá turns fire into judgment, proving that destruction always circles back to the one who started it. Iara shows how beauty can be a trap, how temptation can pull you under before you realize you're drowning. The Boto teaches distrust of appearances. Not every smile is harmless. The Mapinguari embodies the fear of the unknown, the reminder that some places remain wild no matter how advanced we become. The Cuca represents discipline through fear, a reflection of how stories were used to shape behavior. And the Headless Mule stands as a symbol of punishment, guilt, and society's darker rules. Together, these legends form something bigger than monsters. They form a map of human fear and belief, a guide to understanding how people once made sense of a world that didn't care whether they survived or not. And this is only the first part. Brazilian folklore is filled with dozens of other creatures lurking in the shadows. Shapeshifters, spirits, beasts, and entities that blur the line between myth and history. In the next part, we'll uncover even more legends that continue to influence stories, culture, and fear to this day. So now it's your turn. Which of these creatures would you want to explore in depth? Which one deserves its own full guide? Let me know in the comments. Your choice might shape the next expedition. If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. New stories, creatures, and mysteries are coming every week. See you in the next one.